Good morning, Vietnam.
There it is. I love it.
I'm Meyer Dalal.
Jason Mantione.
Alan Hastings. I wish I was in the room with you guys. I miss being there.
Yeah, we miss you being here.
When you leave us to California, it becomes harder and harder, you know?
I know.
It's not the same.
It's definitely not. So, Welcome to the Money Matrix podcast, where smart money finds a smarter way. I am your host, Meyer Dalal. For those of you that are just joining us and don't know about me, I've spent over 2 decades in real estate finance, building up MBank. I've done anything in real estate you can imagine. We've funded billions of dollars for self-employed entrepreneurs, for investors, for people that are always looking for something different. You know, they don't have that traditional employment. And I get asked this question all the time. Where should I invest my money? Prices have gone up so much in all these markets. Where do I invest my money? And that's something that we look at a lot. And just from our investing that we do for ourselves, you know, we always want to be able to share a little bit. So I really dug down deep. And today we have a special topic about Florida. Alan, I think this might encourage you to move here.
Permanently full-time Florida resident.
Gonna have to. Yeah.
Look, if you really think about it right now, Florida's real estate market, what's happening? Miami, you got prices that are out of control at this point. You have $2 million condos that people are just sitting and trying to buy that are negative debt service. You have $800,000 starter homes in Tampa. Now, my goal and objective today is to show our investors, our clients, and our listeners secondary and tertiary markets that they can invest in at reasonable prices and still do amazing and make money.
So you're not going to tell everyone to buy in Miami?
No, I'm not going to tell everyone to go buy in Miami. Listen, the reality is this. While the tourists are taking pictures in South Beach and selfies, we have our investors and us buying real estate. People are buying blocks and blocks of real estate in these secondary and tertiary markets and making money while these other people are just thinking, oh, yeah, let me take selfies. Time now is here. We got to take it.
And everybody's going to say, Miami, buy in Miami. The truth is, you'll see, the ship has sailed to Miami. These other areas is where the time is to make money. The time was to make money in Miami. I read something today that teachers and people with jobs in the school system, they can't even afford to live in Miami no more. They're living in Brevard County and they're driving to work. I'm talking about people that are new into the school system, that are getting the jobs. They can't.
There's actually a very interesting topic. It's called the firefighter rule. You may have heard of it, where it's like a market is priced out when the firefighters who are tasked with protecting it can't afford to live there.
You saw that in Florida?
No, I didn't see that.
I was going to say it happened in California.
Mm-hmm.
Probably why you heard of it, because when they were talking about the firefighters with all the fires and everything, they were saying to have firefighters drive in because a lot of them don't live locally. So something interesting from the U.S. Census Bureau. So 2024, it said here that the Florida population grew by 416,754 people. That is 1,142 people moving to Florida every single day.
A lot of people.
But here's the real catch. Of 1,142 people moving every day to Florida, only 23% went to Miami-Dade, Brevard, and Hillsborough counties.
Where are they going?
That's the question. 77% of Floridians that are moving are within Florida. That's even crazier, too, that you have 77% of people that are moving within Florida are because they can't afford these other markets and they're moving out. That's 320,000 people buying in other markets.
So do you think that these are the people that bought 20, 30 years ago for a fraction of what it's worth today, and they say, hey, you know what? We could sell what we bought for $150,000 for $1 million. We'll move to Central Florida, buy this beautiful 5-bedroom house for $500,000.
100%.
And then we have $500,000 in the bank.
100%. That's exactly what's happening. I see it in my own community.
In
my own community, you're seeing people that are the older generation, they're selling. They own their house free and clear. They bought it $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 homes. Now they're $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million homes.
And in your community, I see that they're selling those, and now the new money's coming in and knocking them down and building these monstrosities.
Well, people are coming still from California where they think it's cheap here.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. What was interesting also is Alan, I think you're going to appreciate this. The Florida Department of Economic Opportunity and Employment data said that we added 242,000 jobs in 2023, with 31% of those being business and professional,
Ooh,
18% technology, and 16% aerospace and defense.
that's huge.
It's enormous. A lot of people associated Florida with retirement in the last like 2 decades. Like people would just, you've finished your career, you want to go live on the beach, buy a nice cheap house and walk down to the water. Now there's young professionals taking over. There's old wealth coming in, like new money coming in. I think that the biggest predicator of job growth is population as well, because the more people move to Florida, the more people need to be there to support that population. Service jobs, professional and business services, that's a massive segment of people that need to support other people.
This is the key, because Florida is not a retirement community anymore. Reality.
Let's go.
It's where billion-dollar companies are moving here and things are changing. Clear.
Yep.
And now is the opportunity to get there.
And there's a lot of it.
So from a standpoint of the markets, what are we looking at, Alan? Where are we thinking the new markets are going to be? What are we going to focus on prior to getting there?
It's an interesting question. So there's a couple different things to think about. What we're talking about with the Florida no longer being a retirement community, you see more movement not to the same old population hubs, right? So for instance, specific numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau's county population estimates for 2024, Miami-Dade grew less than 1%, but smaller counties like Polk County surged over 4%. Lake County saw a 4% growth. Hernando County saw like a 4% almost growth. It's crazy. Like population growth is fueling the housing demand and raising prices. You want to be where growth is happening, not where it already peaked, like Miami, like Orlando. We're going to talk about some of the smaller markets, but you need to be getting in while it's still happening.
No, for
So
sure.
I think there's a couple counties that you listed where growth is still happening. Did you want to start with maybe Brevard?
According to Florida Realtors market stats, in Q4 of 2024, the median home price in Miami-Dade was $620,000, up 87% from 2020.
87% in 4 years.
Yep. And the average days on market was 81 days, and the average price per square foot is $394. In Tampa, the median home price is $425,000, up 73% since 2020. And the average days on the market was 48 days. The price per square foot was $267.
And that's not coming from some small fry. That's coming from the Florida Realtors Market of Statistics.
Yeah.
That's a big dog.
Yeah. So if you think about this, Miami real estate has gotten so expensive, like Jason said, that nurses and teachers can't afford where they live. That's not a sustainable market.
No.
And that's really a bubble.
So you're looking for these places where that growth, that same 87% in 4 years is about to happen or is currently happening, not trying to buy in Tampa.
No, we're going to give you facts. We're going
Yeah.
to give you stats
Yeah.
that it is happening now, not projections. It's happening.
Listen, the key for us is identifying the markets where we feel that growth is.
And it's just starting.
So I think the first one is Brevard County. That's called the Space Coast Renaissance. According to Brevard County Association of Realtors, the average home price is $385,000, and it's been up about 18% over the last 2 years. Right now, SpaceX and Blue Origin are pouring billions of dollars into Brevard County. Now, a couple of the cities in Brevard that we love: Titusville, Melbourne Beach, Melbourne suburbs, and Cocoa Beach. These are great opportunities. I have a client who moved to Melbourne Beach 18 months ago. They left California, San Diego, La Jolla. They cashed out of their home. We did their mortgage. They bought a business down there, and they're loving life. They're killing it, and their investments are doing amazing. We helped them. It was easy financing. What other markets are we looking at, guys?
All right, so we're looking at Polk County. Now, I know a lot of people know Polk County, greatest sheriff in the country.
Do you know
Sheriff-
that? Do you
Now I hear about this. Please
Well,
tell me.
please tell him first about Sheriff Grady.
Sheriff Grady encourages thieves and bad people. If you come to Polk County, you try to break into one of my residents' home, they encourage the residents to shoot people trying to rob their homes. I'm telling you, Sheriff Grady, Google him, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you want to
sounds
see.
lovely.
He's on there, and I'm just going to bring you a little stat. He was a very bad man, this man. K9 shot a SWAT officer, bad guy. He was shooting at officers. They shot him 68 times. And when Sheriff Grady was interviewed, they asked him, why 68 times? And he said with a straight face to the press, because we ran out of bullets.
He's
He
crazy.
said you could read the New York Times through the guy.
He's
So
crazy.
Polk County, as long as you're a law-abiding citizen,
It's a great county to live in. It's a very, very safe community since Grady came in. Polk County.
What is it? It's a logistics. From what I'm seeing here, a lot of logistics are happening down there.
In Polk County, we're seeing a medium home price of just $275,000. Super affordable. $275,000.
Yeah.
According to Polk County Association of Realtors, a stunning 24% increase year over year, and homes are flying off the market in just 31 days. The Polk County Economic Development Council of 2024 highlights its transformation into a major logistics hubs for the entire Southeast. Companies like Amazon, FedEx, and UPS are establishing massive operations drawn by its central location and connectivity to 14 million people within a 2-hour drive. They've collectively created over 18,000 permanent jobs. Every package you order is making Polk County real estate more valuable, and we're projecting a 25 to 35% annual return here through 2026. Now, let's remember something, guys. People in this country get 2%, 3% year over year. They're happy. They're real happy.
Right.
We're talking numbers like 18%, 25%, 35%. I mean,
So did you just say every Amazon package that's ordered,
oh, yeah.
Polk County's residents or real estate is going to go up?
Oh, yeah. Every package you order is making
I love
Polk
that.
County real estate more valuable.
That's it. Amazon is the key.
That's it. You see that Amazon, that FedEx truck?
What
buy a
cities in
home.
Polk County are you looking
All
at?
right. So you got Lakeland, which is very big. Winter Haven, which is a great place, very popular. And Haines City. Sweet spot between 200 and 325,000. Starter homes and townhomes. Your return on investment projection is 25 to 35% annually through 2026. Risk factor is medium low and diversified employee base. So I might move to Polk County.
That's a big number, 25 to 35% annually through 2026. Beyond 2026, if it's not 25%, it could be 18%. It could be 15%. It's still well beyond.
It's still going to be huge.
The average median for the country as a whole is like 3.3%. So you're looking at 7
10
times
times.
the national
Yeah.
average.
And I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I think this number is going to stay pretty much in line of what it is now. Past 2026, investors like us are going to come in. They're going to put money into these houses. They're going to grab these houses for $250,000. What's going to happen is you're going to start seeing all these houses being redone. And what's that going to do? It's going to raise it even more. More people are going to come in. They're going to be higher. That percentage, I have a funny feeling Polk County is going to be on the map for quite a while with big return numbers.
What about you, Alan? What market did you identify?
Yeah, I think in a similar vein, Sumter County is kind of going through a similar transformation. So according to the Sumter County property records in Q4 of 24, the median home price was around $245,000, having appreciated 21% last year. So it's not as big of a boom, but 21% is, again, 5-6 times the national average. But homes are selling there quicker, too. The average was around 38 days.
Okay.
Famous for the villages, it was kind of like a retirement area, right? Sumter County, big retirement area, but it's changing. Younger families are moving there now because Sumter County has planned a large industrial park, 7 million square feet of space being developed.
They're developing and saying, we're ready for you guys to come down here.
Exactly.
With the new tax bill, so it's going to promote a lot of movement down there, too.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. We said at the start, right? Population drives jobs, drives demand, everything is driven by population. By bringing in the industrial park, by bringing in all of those employers, they're going to bring in employees. The job market's going to diversify. It's not just going to be a retirement village. I would expect something like 20 to 25% annual returns. The properties are much cheaper. Like in your area, you're talking 250 to 350. Down in Sumter, it's probably around 180 to 280. You can get in while it's cheaper now and expect that same level of returns. I think the only risk factor is that you're betting on a budding market, right? So you need to be willing to wait for that development, wait for those things to establish. But I think it's a pretty safe bet for all the reasons you listed.
Yeah, absolutely. You said the villages, Alan?
Yes.
I was reading something last week that the villages, I don't know if they own the land already or just purchased it, but they're clearing land and building thousands of homes. I hear the villages. If you're retired, it's a place to be.
100%. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're trying to bring in businesses as well. You're going to need a place for those employees to live.
Absolutely.
All right. One of my favorite markets is student housing, college type towns. So Alachua County, Gainesville, and everyone thinks the only thing going on there is UF. Well, it is. But beyond UF, they've created a tech hub. It's got this innovation hub that's driving tech companies down because they have a program with their students that they're going into these, they're doing like an intern type of ship and they're providing their students to these companies. If you hire them, they'll give you free rent for a month or two to promote that and bring in the companies. In addition, they're investing over $2 billion in a new medical complex, which is creating thousands of jobs. So why I really love this is because the rent potential is exponentially higher. We're looking between 18 to 24% through 2026 and beyond. Gainesville suburbs, Newberry and High Springs, homes are between 250 to 375. The risk factor is pretty low because it's university is the driving force there. Something that I do here in Miami where my son was going to school, we get these homes and, we do higher end ones, nicer homes. So we're not treating it that way, but I rent out each bedroom.
Yeah.
So you take a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house and your rent would be what, $1,800, let's just say for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But now you take that same 3-bedroom, 2-bath and you rent each room out for $900. People will pay that in a heartbeat because housing is so expensive and they don't have enough housing anymore because there's such an influx of students wanting to go to UF. It's ridiculous. So this is one of our sleeper counties and areas as well.
You just said it though. There's not enough housing. That is the key.
I think you also love the student areas because it's such a consistency. You always are going to have students. You could buy a property and you will always have a tenant. That's just a fact.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Listen, I have summer kids. I already have the spring. I already have the fall already rented. And I have people dying to get in for the spring of next year. But I wait and see how that goes and see if these guys want to extend.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's great. Jay, what do you got for us?
So what I have is, I'm a little excited about this one. I got the Central Florida Connector. This is where you want to invest, investors. Lake County. The data we got in from Lake County, it indicates a median home price of $325,000, a little bit higher than the other counties, but still very affordable. A solid 22% increase over the past year. With homes moving remarkably fast, just 29 days on average on the market, Lake County's strategic position between Orlando and Tampa makes it incredibly attractive. And the new toll road expansion, this is huge. So you get the new toll road expansion, are cutting commute times to both metros by 25 minutes. Anybody that travels to work, drive to work takes me about 55 minutes every day. You're going to cut that down by 25 minutes. I'm all over that. This improved connectivity, coupled with its relative affordability, makes it a prime target for professionals seeking a balanced lifestyle with projected 20 to 27% annual returns through 2025. The towns, I'm talking about Claremont, Leesburg, Eustis. $275,000 to $400,000 is the sweet spot. Commuter homes, a return on your investment projection, 20 to 27%. That's through 2025. Risk factor is low.
It's your home run right there.
That's your home run right there. That is. I mean, they're all home runs.
They're all home runs.
They're all home runs.
Right.
Alan, what about you?
It's
What's
funny,
the other market you identified?
I'm going to copy a little bit of Jason's homework because Hernando County is actually the place that I picked for my second as well. It's just to the west of Lake County. So it's between all those different central areas. It's between Orlando and Tampa, about in the middle. Orlando over here, Tampa down here.
Yeah.
And the median home price there is this similar, 265, but it's showing 26% appreciation year over year. Properties are selling almost just as fast, 33 days. But the big selling point is the distance between Orlando and Tampa makes it so that you can kind of pick a house here and work from home, but be close enough to drive to whatever business that you're working for. We saw the remote work kind of take off during COVID, but now, especially with the rise of AI jobs, tech jobs, remote work is a little more common. So Hernando County is kind of exploding because you can buy an affordable house here. You could be a tech worker making a Silicon Valley salary could buy a house here for the price of a parking spot in San Francisco.
True.
And I'm just telling the truth. The projection for the returns through 2025 are like 24 to 31% in cities like Brooksville, Spring Hill. The biggest thing is this is one of those places where you could buy a property to live in, or you could buy a property to rent, because you're going to be able to rent it to one of those employees who may be working on both coasts, who may have to travel. And it's just so central. I personally thought it was a great investment, especially when you see that appreciation year over year is insane.
That's why I guess a lot of this, what we're talking about, is really geared towards our investors. You know, people that are going to come in, buy them, fix them up, and rent them out. That's the big thing, because we need places to put all these thousands and thousands of people.
No,
employees, especially.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is all great, but you have to be able to execute on this.
True.
That's really the bottom line, right? So that's where mBank steps in here, because the reality is this: majority of traditional banks, they're going to look at this. They're going to say, I want your tax returns. I want this. It's out of state. Why are you moving? What do you want to do? It's confusion at its prime. And for us, it's straightforward. We have offices in Florida. We understand the dynamic. We understand the people here. We'll qualify you with bank statements. We'll qualify you with the rental income. But most importantly, I'll give you an approval where you can waive your loan contingency and you can compete with any cash offer.
No, that's
in 15 days. You submit an offer, no loan contingency, close in 15 days. It's a home run.
And this is what we do every day. Norm for us.
So that's really the key.
Meyer's been doing it himself.
You have to be able. I mean, that's how I buy my houses. I go in no loan contingency, 15-day close.
Yeah.
You really have a hard time competing with an offer like that. And I don't try to cut the market. I'll ask for a concession, different things to compensate, or a repair request or something like that, something to that effect. But overall, though, it's speed, efficiency, and timing is what gets deals done in this market.
And that's what pushes our clients in front of the line.
I just want to share a client we just had 6 months ago in California, pulled out a second on their home, took out $500,000. They were pressing me, saying, Meyer, where should we buy? So I shared with them a couple of different things about these stats specifically. They said, okay, you know what? We want to do this. So I said to them, before you even do this, if you're going to buy out of state in any market you're not really familiar with, you need to understand the market. You need to create a network, and you need to make sure that there is a demand.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, we're going to do it. So they ended up buying 6 properties for $500,000. They bought 1 in Cocoa Beach, 2 in Lakeland, and 3 near the university. The average cash flow on the properties that are not by the university is about $400 to $500 a month. And on the UF ones, because he's renting student housing, he's killed it this spring semester. The amount of money he's making on that is nuts. So he was very happy.
Positive cash flow on all your homes and killing it on another couple.
So, Alan, what are if we're going to mitigate risk, what would you suggest clients do?
The biggest thing, like, it's very simple. There's a couple steps that you always take that, you've drilled into my brain over the years. And step 1 is diversifying. You don't want to ever put all your eggs in one basket, really, especially when you're buying in a different state like Florida. Diversifying, like you said, I have properties near school. I have properties for employees working at certain tech jobs. Spread it out, right? Because worst case scenario, something bad happens to one property, it doesn't affect your whole portfolio. Number 2, build a community, build a network. If you're not there to manage your property yourself, you have to be able to trust the people who do. And so you're going to need repair people, property managers, people who can go out to the house. And I know for you like to be able to drive to your properties.
Absolutely.
And the ones that you can't, you need someone you can trust.
Correct.
And then number 3 is really just have an exit plan. If you find that your investment is paid off, but you want to sell your property, move up, or you have a property that's not working out. Have some kind of consistent plan for how you want to transition that property. Maybe you bought this property, but it's okay becoming a second home for you because you want to expand to Florida eventually with your business. Maybe you have family who might need to live in that property in a couple of years. Maybe you just plan on selling if it appreciates, like Jason's markets are 33% appreciation. Maybe you just want to sell it in 2 or 3 years. As long as you diversify, have a team, and just have a plan, you should be completely fine.
That's awesome.
I agree.
So to wrap up, the top 6 counties for Florida appreciation of 20 to 25% in the next couple of years: Brevard County, Polk County, Sumter County, Alachua County, Lake, and Hernando County.
Those are them.
Those are the winners.
Mm-hmm.
Write them down.
Anything else we want to share?
I think we gave everybody a little bit of homework.
Yeah. Call people up, do your research. Now's
Yeah.
your chance. If you wait, time is passing, just like Miami and Orlando have passed us by. These counties are going to pass you by.
Absolutely.
So I think just get to work.
You know, they always say the best time to buy real estate was 10 years ago. The reality is now you have an opportunity of 10-year ago pricing. Everyone, farewell.
Thank you.
On to
the next.
Please hit us
All
up.
the way up.
All the way up.